Welcome back to Kingston Reviews. Derek here. Today's video is going to be about changing the alternator on my 2005 SL 500. This is actually the vehicle my son drives. He's getting ready to head off to college, and I'm trying to get a bunch of stuff done on this so that he has a reliable vehicle to drive. We bought this from a friend of ours a few months back, maybe 6 months back. It only had 48,000 miles on it. This was an incredible deal, incredible opportunity. Believe it or not, he actually sold me another SL 500 over there. That's a 1986. I'll do a video on that at some point as well. They're both a lot of fun to drive. This one's a lot more modern. Like I said, this is the SL 500, so it's got the V8 in there. It's got a lot of kick. I thought I'd give you guys a quick tour of the vehicle right now. Just so you have that information before we get into the alternator change. And I'm going to actually run to the store and get something with it. So this has got the hard top that automatically flips back. I'll show you a video of that here in just a second. Okay, so I thought I'd give you guys the startup and a quick inside tour. I don't know if any of you have ever been in one of these things, but for a 2005, this thing is completely loaded with a ton of electronic goodies. This thing's got, heated, cool seats. Not one, not two, but three memory control seats. It's got massagers in the seats. It's an absolute beauty. This thing has been pretty well taken care of. Seems like it was in the garage at a beach house, and so it really hasn't gotten a lot of wear. I'm going to start it up for you here on the inside. I'll give you also the outside sound. The exhaust is not overly aggressive. My son wants to do something to that. I'm trying to tell him not to. I feel like it's just got the right amount of sound to it. But let's go ahead and get this thing started up. So the start button's actually where the gear shifter is. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's not where the key inserts or anything like that. You can use the key, but the start is actually here. I'm going to change the coolant on this thing, so you do see alert on there, but that's because we did not properly burp the vehicle after we changed the alternator the other day. And like I said, you guys will see that here in the video here shortly. Let's go ahead and give you the start from the back. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into the video. If you guys would like a more detailed tour of the vehicle, please don't forget to like, subscribe, put that in the comments, and I will do one of this vehicle and give you guys a much more detailed tour of the car. Alright, thank you. Alright, back again. A couple things that we're probably going to need some work on it. I do have to get the seal done right there on the engine, and I'm working on that. Probably going to get that done next Friday, but the priority today is the batteries and the alternator needed to be changed. I changed the batteries yesterday. They really weren't that difficult. There's two batteries in this car, one in the front, one in the back. One is called the consumable battery, which essentially is the battery that's in charge of all the electronics, and then there's one up front that's going to be your starter battery. The reason for that is there's a lot of electronics in this vehicle, a lot of comfort features, ride control and stability control. All that stuff takes a lot of power, and you need two batteries for that. So I knew the batteries needed changing because they were dying, but the reason for them dying is that alternator. I'm not 100%, but I'm very sure that it's a good idea to go ahead and at least change it, or at least test it here and see if it needs to be changed. So that's what we're going to do today. In order to do that on this particular vehicle, there's very few videos I found. I'm going to do my best to kind of illustrate what I'm doing. But essentially, I'm going to try to do this without taking off as little as possible. Okay, that's my goal here. You know me, I try to do it as quickly and inexpensively as possible. So in order to do this, I've got to get this serpentine belt off, and likely I'm gonna have to remove at least some of these radiator hoses, like this one here, and maybe this one up top here, in order to get this out easily. And like I said, I'm gonna try it as little as possible to get it out. In order to loosen up the tension belt, you've got to find the tension pulley. The tension pulley is going to be the one that looks like this. I'm going to put the phone down there so you can see. But it's got those grooves on it, and it's basically a pulley attached. I'm going to loosen up this bolt underneath it right there, and that will allow this thing to loosen up the belt, and then you can take the belt off. Highly recommend, as I've done in the past, take pictures and videos of how everything is ran so that you can put it back the way you found it. We'll see how difficult this is and if I get stuck, but I wanted to share this with you guys. If you like content like this, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. All right, here we go. Okay, I'm looking for something here. Let's see if I can see it with the phone. So far I've determined that I need a 17 millimeter to be able to get this off, but there's supposed to be a little pinhole that I can stick something through to hold it in place once I've loosened up the pulley, and I'm trying to see if I can find that. So that's the pulley right there, that's the bolt. Is there a under there? Is there something under there I can use? I don't see anything. So, all right guys, so I was able to get the tension belt, the serpentine belt. I wanted to stop the video here for just a second to show you guys where I tucked the serpentine belt away. It's a nice little spot here to kind of keep it out of the way. I wanted you guys to see that. Loose. The only thing that I removed so far is the air intake. I'm going to try to get this done without removing any of the radiator hoses. I really don't think there's so much in the way except for this one here. So I'm going to try. I'm going to give it my try. The next thing we got to do is take this alternator bolt off. It's going to take the, looks like the 12 millimeter.
Wrong.
And then there's one on the bottom side that I'll take off as well. And we'll do that step next. Okay, I was wrong about that. It's the 11 millimeter, not the 12. It's the 11 millimeter that goes on that bolt right there. Okay, so here we go. So let me give you guys another little pointer that I've learned. It's pretty tight in here, and in order to get some power on that nut, that bolt, I added this little extension on here. It's actually just my handle to my generator over my ratchet, and it allows me to get a little more force without like accidentally slipping off and hitting some of this really sensitive stuff in here. So it gave me the leverage I need, and so now it's coming off easy. All right, I'm out here with my two boys. We're working on this. So as I told you guys, I did not want to have to pull a whole lot out, but we did have to pull off this radiator hose right here. Just no way to get it out. It is a tight fit to get this thing through there, but we didn't have to do anything silly like lift a motor mount.
Take off one motor
Take
mount.
off one motor mount. I'm gonna put that guy's link in the description below. Don't listen to him. But we were able to get the old alternator out. But I'm telling you, it's a tight fit. These German engineers made this thing a tight fit on purpose. but we were able to get the old one out, new one in. And I know you guys are smart enough to figure out the mount parts, but the only thing we had to take off was this right here. We did try to save as much of that radiator fluid as possible, not to get it on the ground. We still got some on the ground, but now we've got it in there. All we got to do is basically get the mount back on, and we've got that figured out. Where's the old alternator? So the old alternator is right here, but you can see big difference between the coils, and listen to that sound it's making. Right, it was just howling when it was inside the car. This one is smooth. I mean, no sounds at all, and it looks, like I said, it should work out pretty good. So we're gonna go ahead and get this thing finished and installed, and I'll come back to you guys in a minute.
That's fantastic.
Which one does it go on to?
It goes on to this one.
There's another one over there.
Oh, let me just
do.
describe it. So we were able to snap on the one plug-in, which is pretty easy to go in. Move that just so they can see it.
This piece right here.
Right.
It's got a little clip on that side. You pull the clip, pull up, comes off really easily. The next piece is the ground.
Yeah, that's the ground. That should be pretty easy to put back in.
It's right there.
There's just a bolt and a nut, and put that back on. So we'll come back after we've done that. All right, guys, so I wanted to just kind of go back over what we did. Again, even though I had a little bit of a description earlier, in order to get the alternator through, we did have to remove this and that part of the radiator that goes to that, and I used the clamp from the radiator hose with a plastic bag to hold everything in, and that worked pretty well. The bolts were pretty easy to get back in. We did have to get the top first. When you're putting the new alternator back in, get the top bolt first, slide the bottom one in, and it should go in pretty good. And I was able to get that done. So the new alternator is in and working. Our next project is going to be replacing the valve cover. Actually, the valve cover seals on this need to be replaced and cleaned. So we'll be doing that in another video up and coming here. Remember, like I said, to use that pulley over here in order to release the belt, the serpentine belt on there. Use that pulley that I showed you earlier, but we were able to get that to squeeze through without removing anything. All overall, this was a pretty easy job. I don't think it was that difficult. All right, guys, as I promised, I'll show you the top going down on the vehicle. If you guys hung in here to the end of the video, thank you for watching. If you guys like content like this, please go ahead and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching.